Hello, everyone. My name is Rogelio, and welcome to my first episode of Angry Nasty People. I am so excited that I'm finally launching this show. I always wanted to start a YouTube channel, but I always doubted myself. But hey, I finally decided to give it a shot, and here I am. I mean, what is there to lose? Maybe just my dignity, but who cares? What is this channel about? Well, I'm going to talk about people who are angry, nasty, or both. The name speaks for itself. In this episode, we will talk about the Chicago womb snatcher. This case hits me personally since it happened so close to me. I live in the Chicago suburbs. It's crazy to think that cases like these can happen around the corner. So, who is the Chicago womb snatcher? Her name is Clarissa Figueroa, and she's a very angry, nasty person. Let's get started. On April 23rd, 2019, Clarissa Figueroa, a Chicago woman who lived in the Southwest Side, lured 19-year-old Marlene Ochoa Lopez, a pregnant teenager, to her home. Authorities allege that Clarissa lured Marlene via a Facebook post. The Facebook post stated that Clarissa and her daughter Desiree were giving away baby clothes and a stroller. Marlene, being pregnant, was probably super excited to find free stuff for her baby. Many mothers will die for free baby items. Little did she know what Clarissa had planned. When Marlene arrived at her home, Clarissa strangled her with a cable, while her daughter held Marlene's hands so she couldn't fight back. This is so scary. I occasionally buy things through Facebook, and this makes me uneasy about meeting people at their homes to pick up the items they're selling. Well, sort of. I just have to be more careful. I think this case shows that people need to be on the lookout nowadays. Marlene probably thought it was safe to go by herself to pick up the free baby stuff, especially since the seller was a woman. No one should ever step into a stranger's homes these days, no matter how harmless they look. It's best to meet up in a public place or maybe outside where people can see you. Many say that this is just a rare occurrence and it won't happen to them, but I think everyone should take the extra precautions just to be safe. Today, I feel like people are more violent and angry. One must not think that everyone is nice and won't do harm. There are people out there who don't respect human life. Honestly, as a society, I think we're going downhill. The US is not safe like it used to be back in the day. Personally, I find myself trusting people less and less each day. It's just how I feel. Like society is gradually losing its values and morals. By no means I'm blaming Marlene for what happened to her. She was young and in need of baby supplies. She was taken advantage of. After Clarissa strangled Marlene with the cable, she cut the baby from the womb using a knife and hid Marlene's body in a trash can behind her home. Marlene was 9 months pregnant. Wow, just talking about this, despite the fact that I already know the story, it still gives me chills. Why did Clarissa do this? This is where it gets messed up. Clarissa wanted a baby of her own. This was something she wanted way before she committed this horrific crime. Months before, she told friends and family that she was pregnant and posted the pregnancy news on social media. I wonder if her friends and family actually believed her. She was 46 when she committed that crime. Isn't that kind of old to be having a baby? Well, thinking about it, it's not uncommon for people to get pregnant after 45. I believe some celebrities like Janet Jackson and Halle Berry had babies around 45, 47. I think 50. But yeah, maybe her friends and family did believe her. Or not, who knows? Her motive was rooted in desperation and a delusional attempt to replace a baby she lost in the past. Wait, I'm reading that the baby wasn't a baby. She lost her adult son. She was consumed in grief after her adult son died because of health problems. Is there a term for this? Let me check. The internet is telling me it's called replacement child syndrome. a psychological and emotional condition in which a child is conceived, adopted, or emotionally regarded as a substitute for another child who has been lost due to death, miscarriage, or other circumstances. This can lead to complex psychological dynamics for the replacement child and their family. Okay, her plan was to kill the mother and take her baby to pass off as her own. After she snatched the baby from the womb, she called 911, pretending that she just had given birth and said that the baby wasn't breathing. The baby was in critical condition due to the violent delivery. I don't think her plan would have worked without getting caught right away, but the hospital messed up. I don't know the procedures, but wouldn't the hospital check on Clarissa if she was doing okay after supposedly giving birth at home? It seems to me that the hospital didn't see the red flags. Marlene Ochoa was reported missing the same day she was killed. Her family became concerned when she failed to pick up her 3-year-old son from daycare. Police then began tracing Marlene's last known whereabouts and digital footprints. Investigators learned that Marlene was communicating with Clarissa through a Facebook group for mothers, where Clarissa offered free baby items. Marlene had arranged to meet Clarissa at her home on April 23, 2019. Police obtained a search warrant to look into Clarissa's home and found Marlene's body in the trash can. It took them 3 weeks to find out what happened to her. Obviously, the police needed to get a search warrant to enter Clarissa's home. This is probably one of the reasons why they couldn't act any sooner. Marlene did tell her family that she was going to pick up baby clothes. But despite this providing a lead, confirming and tracing Marlene's last known location, it took time. She didn't tell her family the exact address she was going to. Should people tell their family members where exactly they are going when picking up something they bought online? I think sharing your location with your spouse or someone close is a good idea in case something happens to you. At least the police know where to start looking. I think Apple Watches have an SOS setting. If you hold the side button, it can call emergency services and share your location. I don't know, this could be helpful if you're being kidnapped. At the same time, Marlene was being strangled by surprise. And in situations like these, people don't react normally. People always say that this person could have done this or that person could have done that, but it's not easy thinking straight when something like this is happening to you. Clarissa's daughter was also holding Marlene's hands. I don't think in a situation like this you could send an SOS. I also don't think being armed would have helped. This was a surprise attack. Following the tragic death of Marlene Ochoa Lopez, her family established a GoFundMe campaign to assist with the medical expenses for her newborn son and to support their 3-year-old son, Joshua. The campaign was a success, raising over $56,000. DNA testing confirmed that the baby that Clarissa snatched was indeed not hers. Marlene's baby suffered severe brain injuries during the assault. The baby was placed in intensive care and remained on life support. Sadly, the baby died around 7 weeks after being snatched from the womb. He died on June 14, 2019. His name was Giovanni Jadiel Lopez, named by Marlene's family members. At least Marlene's baby was given a name, and Marlene's family could see him before he died. This shouldn't happen to anyone. No family should ever endure what happened to Marlene. This is just a tragic case. Clarissa Figueroa was arrested on May 16, 2019, along with her daughter Desiree Figueroa. Also, Clarissa Figueroa's boyfriend was arrested the same day. He was charged with concealing a homicide and obstruction of justice, as authorities determined he had assisted in cleaning up the crime scene and disposing of evidence related to the murder of Marlene Ochoa Lopez. After Clarissa Figueroa's arrest in May 2019 and the death of the baby, the legal proceedings unfolded as follows. Clarissa Figueroa, on April 2024, she pleaded guilty to first-degree murder for the killing of Marlene Ochoa Lopez and was sentenced to 50 years in prison without the possibility of early release. Seated and wearing a jumpsuit, she did not provide a statement, but answered yes when Cook County judge asked if she understood she would need to serve the entire 50-year sentence without the possibility of early release. Desiree Figueroa, Clarissa's daughter, who assisted in the crime, pleaded guilty to first-degree murder in January 2024. She agreed to testify against her mother and received a 30-year prison sentence in May 2024. In contrast, Desiree Figueroa expressed remorse during her sentencing in May 2024. She stated, "I can never apologize enough for what I did," acknowledging the gravity of her actions in assisting her mother with the crime. Clarissa's boyfriend at the time, who helped conceal the crime, pleaded guilty to obstruction of justice. He was sentenced to 4 years in prison, and credit for time served was released in 2023. Clarissa showed no remorse for her actions. This clearly shows that she's a nasty woman. What she did is unspeakable. She took away the lives of 2 innocent people. Marlon's husband said in a statement, "Your punishment will never be enough because my son will never be able to hug his mother, ever. I am happy that this woman is now behind bars. Justice is served. Sadly, many people get away with their horrific crimes." Yet Marlon's husband is right about Clarissa's punishment not being enough. Nothing can replace the loss of a loved one. Experiencing such a horrific loss will take time to heal. Honestly, I don't think many people can heal from such trauma. Hopefully, Marlon's family members get the help and support they need. What can we learn from all of this? I don't think there's an answer to this. All I can say is that we must be careful out there. I think someone should know where you are most of the time. Or at least tell your friends or family if you are going somewhere that you usually don't go to. This is a personal choice. I don't think this can work for everyone. All I'm trying to say is that we must be careful out there and do everything we can in order to stay safe. I don't think pregnant women should worry too much about getting their baby snatched from their womb, but I feel they can learn so much about this case. Marlon was 19 years old, and I feel like bad people out there target the most vulnerable. I don't want to assume things, but being a young mother is not easy. Many young mothers are barely getting job experience, and maybe they're continuing their education. This puts a lot of financial strain on young parents, mom and dad alike. Like I said, Marley was taken advantage of. She probably was in need, maybe in desperate need of baby supplies, and she thought that going to a woman's house wasn't a risky situation. This just shows that anything can happen and just to be on the lookout. This case also makes me think, why couldn't Clarissa just adopt a baby? Well, thinking about it, adopting a baby isn't easy. It's expensive, it takes time, and it requires extensive background checks. And considering that she had mental problems, she shouldn't be near any children anyway. To summarize everything, Clarissa Figueroa showed many signs of being manipulative in how she planned and carried out her crime. She lied and created an elaborate plan to trick Marlene Ochoa Lopez into coming to her home. She didn't seem to care about the harm she caused or the pain she inflicted, showing a lack of empathy. Clarissa also needed control, carefully planning every step of the crime and pretending she had just given birth to gain sympathy. She took advantage of Marlene's trust and vulnerability, which is common in manipulative people who use others to get what they want. Her actions also showed a craving for attention and a sense of entitlement, likely influenced by her grief over losing her adult son. Overall, her behavior reflected a willingness to hurt others for her benefit, combined with lies, calculated planning, and a disregard for responsibility. This is why Clarissa Figueroa is indeed a very angry, nasty person.